All right, so recap of the Cavs win against the Toronto Raptors. Definitely you gotta hand it to Tyrone Lue. He definitely well coached his team. It was well coached game. But you look at it, gotta look at the fact that I thought about like how they gave him the reins, when Black left, and obviously they saw something that's different because this is a totally different team than what the Raptors have seen. You got to look at the way they play, the intensity, the matchups that they do. You look at even with the fact that Mozgov doesn't really play anymore, but obviously Tyrone Lue, saw something as far as like the lineup with like Channing Frye. Like this man just comes in here and is almost just like lights out. They play with an intensity. I think there's a different mentality now that Tyrone Lue is coaching. I think they're seeing that they're almost in like attack mode every time. And with the fact that you got to look at it like they were well balanced, and we look at how many threes that everybody was talking about. Oh, they made 70 plus threes or whatever in these series and things like that. They really didn't even shoot that many threes compared to what they normally would be shooting. A lot of points were in the paint. You got to look at the fact that the Raptors were out rebounded. And then you just got to look at, does excuse me. You know, does the Raptors have the depth? When Cleveland bench comes in, they still outscored them. Anybody that comes in, you look at Amon Shepard, when he played on different teams, he was still averaging like 19 points a game at points. So, he's potentially a starter somewhere else in the East or anything like that. But there was just so much that, the Cavs were doing that it was just almost unstoppable. LeBron is he was 14 or 14 the first, the first shots that he took. And you got to give credit to the Raptors coach. He had them well prepared for this game in the beginning. So he had them well prepared in the beginning for this game, and that's why they kind of started out and they kind of had a lead. But you got to continue that intensity. You got to continue playing like that the whole time. They're kind of. You can see in the other series that they played. With the Miami Heat and everything like that, in the other series that they played. When they lost in the first game, and then they kind of come back. Like you gotta continue that the whole time. You gotta take advantage of every game. They kind of ran with it. The only way the Raptors are really going to have a chance to win is if the 2 point guards, the two guards of the Raptors, score 50 together. And then their big man, has to be able to protect the rim or anything like that. I think in order for the Raptors to have a chance, I think they have to go back and look at the two games that they beat them. Because in the regular season, the Raptors were 2-1 against Cleveland. So they have to look at those games and look at what worked and try to mimic that. Even though Cleveland is a different team, you can kind of get them in the same mindset that it was back then. At least that'll give your team some confidence. Because right now, they obviously don't have no confidence. So they definitely have to do more, as far as that. But you definitely got to look at it as fact that when they put Tyronn Lue in the reins, they're just a different team. I look forward to whoever they're probably going to end up facing, when it comes down to OKC or the Warriors. But they're just a totally different team. Defensively, offensively, just getting up and down the field. They just out there just having fun. It's like, they sitting here trying to play championship, but they're having fun, while they're at it. They're throwing and passing the ball. It's not a problem really if LeBron has 30, 40-something points. And that's what LeBron is best at, when he can just really go play, score about 20-something points, get about 8 assists, and everybody else, have a real good game. Because when you can space the floor, it makes you a better team. I do believe the Raptors to have a chance again, they're going to have to score at least like 50 points between the two guards, and somebody else is going to have to step up. Whether it's DeMar or anybody off the bench, somebody's going to have to give them a spark, coming in, hustle. Because you can see like when the one time when they got the ball and they ran down there, LeBron came behind and stole it. There's like no sense of urgency, so he definitely going to have to do something. So, I look forward, like I said, I think that, LeBron then will probably close it out at 4, unless the Raptors just has a spark at home and they kind of get up and then they keep, they foot on the pedal and continue to attack them, like they did in the beginning of the game. But you got to keep consistent, that's why they play 4 quarters. It's not just, one half, you play 4 quarters, in the first minutes of the game, the Raptors were playing high intensity, but it just fell off, and Cleveland can go sit on the bench and Fry, anybody else can come in and, they can still shoot threes as if they were starters. So I think it keeps everybody fresh and everything like that. So I definitely look forward to seeing game 2.